It pushes towards, communism a little bit, but they're at least looking at ways to make sure everybody's taken care of, make sure everybody's equal. And so they're trying to find a solution.
A lot of observers are scratching their heads when it comes to socialism. How is it that it's gaining a foothold in American politics this year? If you want to understand why, listen to our 12 Nevada swing voters. 10 of the 12 refuse to dismiss it.
If someone stands up and says, I am a socialist, I believe in socialist principles, do they tell you clearly they're a socialist? How do you feel about them?
Indifferent. I need to investigate more about where they stand. I mean, there's so many different factions and variants of degrees and micro degrees of what they believe in. I'd have to actually investigate it. I don't believe in contempt prior to investigation.
I don't just take one thing and then label or judge somebody just for that, like what they say. I need to just get to know them completely before I make a judgment or a decision on who I'm going to vote for.
Okay, got it. So if someone stands up and says, I'm a bigot and I'm a racist, and you should vote for me because I hate anybody who's not like me, and that's their known position, are you giving them that consideration? Or are you basically saying writing them off?
I still would say I got to get to know them. Yeah, I would still want to, just because I'm curious.
John, why aren't you troubled by a socialist?
Because they're looking for, higher wages, unions, and as if it's a workers' rights area, they're looking out for people that are, because I'm in an area where, I'm looking for workers' rights, more pay, unions, people that can protect me. When it comes to companies, you know, um, even if they have more pull, or if they're, more wealthy, they can still help in a sense and look out for a certain category of people.
I think it's because for me, it's usually the yin to the yang for Republicans, because you know how for Republicans, we espouse free market capitalism, lower tax rates, and usually private insurance. Whereas if you're going for socialism, you're looking at public ownership and social services. So I think there is a way to reconcile that in a country such as ours. It's something that I think is a good foil as part of the governance.
Wait, I'm a little confused. What do you mean by a good foil?
So what it is because we do run on, like I said, free markets. Having somebody who works for the greater good, not like what Melody said, not necessarily communism, but somebody who is looking out for each other. I think it's one of the values that we can inculcate towards for the Republicans, and especially that's something that I admire with socialist politicians.
Okay, so I'm sorry to say, so you want to see the Republican Party become more socialist?
Not necessarily, but we would like to work with them.
Why isn't socialist a negative? Explain that to me.
Just because they get more intel on what's going on around the world. So
Wait, say that again, Lawrence. Explain that to me.
they get more information on what's going on around the world. If I'm receiving the definition of socialist correct.
What's the definition of socialist to you?
Just an individual that's more in depth with the world and the world's events.
Compared to what's the opposite of a socialist?
Wouldn't be able to tell you.
While 10 of the 12 are unwilling to condemn socialism, just 3 are unwilling to condemn communism. The rest sound like Justin.
I'm giving contempt prior to investigation with communism. You got me there. It's just ingrained from childhood. Living in the 90s, you commies, it's very ingrained that it is negative. There don't be anything on the shelf. Refer to North Korea. You want to live in that type of regime, that's where I go to with so there is contempt prior to investigation. You found it.
I'm not really a history buff. I know communism historically is not good for society in general.
I would think a communist is somebody who wants to be in control all the time. You can't just go in and open a business and make a profit. They control everything.
It's great in theory, but it looks really bad in practice, especially with the record of some of the more communist countries.
There was some fuzziness about the distinction between Democrats and Democratic Socialists.
More of a sweet talker. That's how I
Who
feel.
is?
I'm just saying, like, that would be the difference. They're a little bit more different with their wording.
Who are? Democrats or Democratic Socialists?
The Democrat Socialists.
They're more sweet talking. What do you mean by that?
Less censored with their words is what I meant. Less censored.
Okay. But in terms of the positions that they hold, what's the difference between a Democrat and a Democratic Socialist?
I'm kind of stuck for my word right now. Maybe you can skip to someone else and I can think about
I
it.
think of Democrats as being more centrist, whereas, they have corporate interests, but they also care about the people as well, the working people. Whereas socialist Democrats are more about community and in a community, it's kind of a lifestyle or not really lifestyle, what's a word? It's an emotional to care about your community.
Roughly off the top of my head, a Democrat more in line with business, putting line in their pockets, where a Democrat socialist will actually look at the people, where they can give back to the programs and the people and actually break them off a piece of that revenue.
I think the socialist flavor will try to more aggressively target the wealthy for more money for the good of all.
I guess a Democrat versus the Democratic Socialist would be a regular Democrat would just be for the people in general, but the Democratic Socialist would they'd be they'd be more of what I guess people would call the opposition to. It's like a not an opposition, but they'll be leaning more toward being a Republican, because the Democratic Socialists will be looking for they'd agree to certain things like the gun laws and stuff like that, and the union wages and stuff like that there, but they won't agree to. They'll still be more towards the Democratic side of the party. You know what I mean? It's hard to explain. Like they'll agree with the gun laws, where the regular Democrats would disagree with they'd agree with the gun ban. You get what I'm saying?
Okay, so Democratic Socialists are in favor of the Second Amendment and defending gun rights. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
I think it's more of just a subset of the Democratic Party, wherein it's a bit more radical. It's a bit more radical in policies. For example, I know Democrats love the Affordable Care Act, but a lot of the Democratic Socialists would love to implement like universal health care, so to speak. So it's not necessarily it would not a lot of Democrats would agree with that policy. However, they're still part of the Democratic Party. I think that's what I would think would be the main difference between those two.
So, like a Democrat would be abortion rights, workers' rights and union rights, environmental protections. As a Democratic Socialist, would be more on universal health care, worker ownership, maybe higher taxes on wealthy people, stuff like that, and eliminating like profit and like healthcare, I would believe.
The attraction of socialism might be associated with the economic pain these respondents are feeling. 10 of the 12 say they are more economically anxious now than when President Trump was re-inaugurated. 7 say they are carrying a higher debt load now than they were a year ago.
Well, just like whereas I used to pay cash for groceries, sometimes I put it on credit cards because the price has just gone up so much in certain areas. And also, my son lives with me. My son has worked on the strip for 22 years and he can't make ends meet. So I have to make the ends meet for him. So it's affecting me the lack of tourism. I have 2 kids that work on the strip in a culinary union, and it's the same from both of them. It's having a real effect on people, on their tips, on they're sent home early because there isn't enough business. And
Got it.
that cuts into their hours, it cuts into their health insurance, everything.
It's stressing. It's very stressful. Because my escrow goes up. So if insurance goes up, my escrow is going up. So that's why I'm having more debt. That's why. So it's changing my mortgage payment because taxes have gone up and insurance has gone up. So it's definitely my escrow's gone up. So it makes my payment higher.
It's way more tough and rough on me. Just how I move now, and it's I gotta put out more money and try to figure it out, and it's not easy.
For the past year, far more swing voters have disapproved of President Trump's job performance than approved. But this month in Nevada, the group was split 6-6. Those who approve said this.
I think that the transgender stuff I approve with. I like that he's improving healthcare. I also like that he's defrauding all these hospice and home health places. I actually approved of Doge. I mean, I think we waste a lot of funding in places that don't need to be wasted. I would say those are my top 4.
My top would be healthcare. I really like RFK Jr. I love what they're doing with healthcare and the things that they're trying to change.
I like the fact that he's cracking down fraud.
I approve because he's taking action in where other presidents wouldn't take action in, and he's doing things that other presidents haven't done in years. Taking people down and being in other countries as well, but like these other presidents haven't done that.
Just with the attack on illegal immigration, as well as the Trump accounts, those are very, very beneficial to their babies for their futures.
I'd say I approve about 75%. I like the things he's doing socially, but the things with the war and the tariff, I don't agree with. I love the America First stance. His support of Israel, more of those things. I'm not supporting what he's doing with Social Security and some of the other programs.
And those who disapprove said this.
He's very egotistical and very narcissistic. And he came in basically with the mindset of, I'm a businessman, I don't know nothing about politics, and I'm gonna take over. He's worried about getting his name on buildings, and there's people dying every day in different countries that he started and caused. It's like, it's a joke. It's just like he just came in and just went to war. For what? Nothing.
We're living paycheck to paycheck, yet inflation is going up, things are going up, and our taxpayer money is going to a lot of the construction all in Vegas. It's not getting handled. It's been out for years, a lot of stuff downtown.
Well, the economy, the shape of the White House, the UFC fight in the front of the White House. The war that I think was started to deflect from the Epstein files. I don't think he kept any promise. I mean, you could say the immigrants, he kept that promise, but he's not going after the worst of the worst. He's even getting US citizens caught up in it.
I will stop this Ukraine war on day one. Not we're going to go and invade all these other countries, take over Venezuela, run the table, so to speak. It's just an absolute lying sack of shit. It's my estimation of what he is. He scammed his way back in there, knowing that he can't be a third-term president. They all do it. Every second-term president does it.
I'll start with an unnecessary ballroom, and we could have used that in education or healthcare. And the other one is his so-called getting illegals off the street for criminals when he's targeting, the old lady or the father that has two sons serving this country. That to me, those people aren't criminals. Let's get the rapist and the real reasons why you want them off the streets. That I support, but I don't support the tamale lady on the corner who's just trying to hustle a dollar.
For me, it's mostly the policies that would set us back decades, especially for cutting professional degrees and courses and cutting funding for education.
Thanks for joining us again this month. Please forward this link to a friend. Please check us out on Substack. And please join us again next month.